If you've looked at the news recently, you've probably seen a headline that sounds straight out of a science fiction movie. Elon Musk has officially crossed a net worth of $1 trillion. To put that in perspective, if you spent $1 million every single day since the day Jesus was born, you still wouldn't be able to spend $1 trillion today. The media is calling him the first human to ever do it. But the media is completely wrong, because the closer you look at Elon's trillion, the more you realize it's actually an illusion. 700 years ago, there was a man so wealthy that Elon's modern trillion looks like pocket change, a man who didn't rely on stock charts or imaginary valuations, and what he did during a single morning shopping spree literally changed global history forever. Level 1. The imaginary trillion. To understand why Elon isn't the richest person in history, we first have to understand what his wealth actually is. If you think Elon Musk has a bank account with 12 zeros sitting in it, think again. In reality, Elon lives in a tiny prefabricated house in Texas. Why? Because Elon Musk is what economists call cash poor. Nearly his entire fortune is tied up in the stock market. But here's the catch. That money only exists if he doesn't touch it. If Elon tried to sell $1 trillion worth of stock tomorrow, the market would panic, the stock would crash, and much of that trillion would evaporate. Modern trillionaires don't own real physical things. They own beliefs. They own the collective faith of Wall Street. If human belief shifts tomorrow, the trillionaire disappears. But history didn't operate on belief. History operated on reality. To find the real trillionaires, we have to look at men who own things you could actually touch. Level 2. The Emperor's Wallet. Let's go back 2,000 years to ancient Rome. Meet Augustus Caesar. He wasn't just a ruler, he was a walking central bank. Historians estimate his wealth was equivalent to roughly $4.6 trillion in modern terms. How? Simple. He personally owned Egypt. Not ruled it, owned it. Every grain of wheat, every tax payment, every piece of land. It all ultimately flowed to him. At his peak, Augustus personally controlled roughly 1/5 of the entire Roman economy. That isn't paper wealth. That is a monopoly on human survival. And yet, even Augustus isn't the richest person in history. For that, we travel to West Africa in 1324. Level 3. The Golden Monarch. A guy named Mansa Musa, emperor of the Mali Empire. While Europe struggled through famine and plague, Mali sat on top of the largest gold reserves on Earth. At the time, much of the world's gold may have originated from Musa's mines. He didn't just possess wealth, he controlled the supply of currency itself. In 1324, Mansa Musa began his pilgrimage to Mecca, but he didn't travel light. He brought 60,000 men, 12,000 servants, 80 camels, hundreds of pounds of gold on each camel, and that today is more than $500 billion just in gold value. As his caravan passed through Cairo, he handed out gold to the poor, bought gifts, and funded construction projects. He was literally throwing billions into the crowd. And then something incredible happened. There was so much gold entering the city that its value fell. Prices changed, the economy was disrupted. Some historians estimate Cairo took years to recover. Think about that. Elon Musk can move markets with a tweet. Mansa Musa moved economies by going on vacation. Economists have tried to calculate his wealth in modern terms. Most agree on one thing: it may be impossible to measure. This raises a fascinating question. Why did wealth change from physical power to digital numbers on screens? In the ancient world, wealth was tangible: land, gold, resources. Today, wealth often depends on future expectations. Elon Musk's trillion isn't built on what he owns today. It's built on what investors believe he may own tomorrow. That's powerful, but it's also fragile because belief can change. Gold remains gold, land remains land, but market sentiment, that can disappear overnight. So is Elon Musk truly a trillionaire? On paper, yes. In absolute historical terms, the answer is far more complicated. History's richest rulers didn't just own companies, they owned economies, and some of them were so wealthy, they changed the course of civilization itself. But here's the strange part. Most of us will never own gold mines, we'll never control empires, and we probably won't become trillionaires. Yet in many ways, the average person today possesses forms of wealth that even kings could never imagine. A Roman emperor couldn't instantly access the knowledge of the entire world. Mansa Musa couldn't speak to millions of people with a device that fits in his pocket. And Augustus Caesar couldn't build a business from his bedroom with nothing but an internet connection.